So we have an absolutely insane and bizarre twist to the Hyundai story. And basically, there's a MAGA conspiracy out there that Hyundai is hiding dead bodies. For reals. I can't make this stuff up. And I know it really does sound like a South Park episode, but this is the crazy world that we're in. So this was all over our news. This particular person, she's a MAGA. She's been spreading rumors about Hyundai, and she's claiming that she is the whistleblower to call on the plant. And if you guys don't know, Trump ICE raided the Hyundai plant in Georgia. I think it was nearly 500 people arrested. Many were Korean nationals. Korean government then had a emergency meeting, negotiations, and essentially bring the people home. And then suddenly, which I didn't even know about this part of the story, all of the Korean news started saying, "Hey, we think we've identified the whistleblower in the Hyundai case," and it turns out to be a MAGA person who's again spreading conspiracy theories that Hyundai's hiding dead bodies. And the person is a fan of Marjorie Taylor Greene, so you have to understand that. And this is it. This like literally, I'm showing you our news. This is SBS News. It says, and they grabbed this from a Facebook post, which I've also seen her page. I'll show you in a minute. Firearms trainer Marine Tori Branham. She's claiming she's the whistleblower of why ICE went there. And she says, so I had numerous credible sources reach out to me, according to her, that there are potentially illegal immigrants who died on Hyundai mega site and were allegedly buried on site because they didn't want to call authorities. I am not confirming or denying the allegation, but I know where there are forensic people on site. Last I heard, there were people on site yesterday evening wearing FBI windbreakers. I mean, I don't know. It sounds like space laser stuff to me. Hey, and I'll be frank with you guys. If you find the dead bodies, let me know, and I will say, okay, you were right. But I mean, the way they talked about it in our news, they're just like, then they said it politely, but there's a crazy MAGA person in USA who's saying there's dead bodies at the Hyundai plant. And they use the word conspiracy theory and, unfounded allegations, this kind of stuff, the way that they described her. These were the scenes that actually, if you don't know, people just showed up. That's actually the person right there, Tori. I guess she used to be in the military. She's now heavily into MAGA. She's running for office. I guess she wants to be a representative, and she loves Marjorie Taylor Greene, etc. And these are the images that they've been showing us in Korea, that's where I live. I'm an American citizen, make it clear, but my wife is Korean, so we live here in Busan. And this whole thing is this. It opens up all of the cultural problems in USA and all the MAGA issues, which I think Tori is a good representation of who MAGA is, how they get things wrong, and maybe purposely lying when or they're just delusional. I don't know what her deal is, but listen to the I'll show you a little bit of our news. You get a sense of it.
JTBC가 신고를 한 인물과 통화를 했는데요. 한국 공장이 지역 경제 발전에 도움이 되지 않는다고 주장했습니다.
Right, so that's the beginning of it, and then they actually play her voice a little bit. Just listen, you'll see.
열렬한 지지자이자 강성 공화당원인 토리 브레넘은 JTBC와 통화해서 자신이 공장을 신고했다고 주장했습니다.
Well, the response was, we need evidence, and so I linked them up with the guy that had video evidence.
브레넘은 한국 기업들이 지역 경제에 도움이 되지 않는다고 했습니다. 현지 고용 없이 공장 건설을 하고 세제 혜택을 챙기는 건 기만이라는 겁니다.
Jobs away, you build a new plant here, you give tax cuts on the back of Georgians, and then they don't get hired, and there are Georgians that need jobs.
브레넘은 단속된 한국인들이 착취를 당하는 노예 생활을 하고 있다고도 했습니다.
They probably send a lot of money to their handler and back home, might not have much to live off of, slave labor conditions. It's a humanitarian crisis.
하지만
All right, so according to her, there's dead bodies at the Hyundai plant, and she's the savior, I guess. This is, and if you guys understand cultural stuff in USA, some of these people think they're white saviors, and the white people have to save all the black and brown people. There's white people who believe that kind of thing. That's her there, I guess. She's been all over our news. And then if you go over to her Facebook, which I pulled up some stuff, there's a bit more. She was running for office, I guess.
I just want to tell y'all a little bit why I want to run for District 12 Congress here in Georgia. We need stronger women to advocate for women. In 2016, I saw a need. Women victims, 65% were by romantic partners or former romantic partners. And I decided to run a small yard sale at offering handgun training. And I've now trained 13,000 women.
So she claims she's trained 13,000 women in handgun trading. I guess she does this at yard sale, but I think guess her following is getting big. Firearms trainer Marine Tori Branham. That's her Facebook. I guess this is her classes. She'll have it all over their area. Here's more of her allegations against Hyundai. Just want you to see, because I've been seeing these strange comments on social media. I'm like, where's this stuff coming from? And then when they started reporting it in our news, I was like, okay, fine. We'll dig into down the rabbit hole, and this is the rabbit hole. So have a listen to more what she has to say.
The only people that are mad about this raid in Ellabelle, Georgia at the Hyundai MAGA site are probably people that don't pay taxes. Because in 2022, when they signed the agreement to bring that plant here and build it, they were given $32 million in tax breaks to employ Georgians. And they didn't. The Georgians never were hired to perm.
Okay, so she's angry that the local government would give tax incentives for a big international company to come and build a plant. So I guess she's angry about that. And then she's running for office. Like, does she have any concept how any of this stuff works? It's like, no, I'm just talking about reality, right? So, I mean, it's just the reality. You're a big company. You can go to any city in the country. That's what ends up happening. Various cities have to make, tax deals and say, okay, come here, we'll give you this tax incentive, we'll build out this infrastructure for you. And companies evidently, pick where they think is most appropriate for them. Other things that you got to look for as well is, can you find workers that can actually work in your said factory? And if you can't, sometimes you got to bring your own people because there's not enough local Americans who can do the jobs that you need. I'm telling you, this is, and this is where there's a huge misunderstanding by MAGA people. And it's sad, it's funny, it's sad. And I just want to talk honestly about you guys with this stuff. There's people out there that don't have a lot of skills, okay? And if you're in that MAGA world, you assume that all jobs are kind of like that, but it's just not the case. Some jobs you actually do need skills and training. I hate to break it to you, it's just reality. And so just because you're able to do one type of job and maybe that job doesn't exist anymore, doesn't necessarily mean that it directly transfers to another. You got to learn more skills because if you don't, people won't hire you. I just being honest with you. And it's hard to tell people the truth about this stuff because some people is like, no, I don't really want to learn anything. I just want to stay at my own thing. I'll show you what I mean by that, because look, it says Marjorie Taylor Greene sent a letter to the FBI and DOJ urging a formal investigation into Georgia elections. So you can kind of, she wrote this like 13 hours ago. So you can kind of get a sense of the person it is. So she's going to be the kind of person who thinks that there's, widespread election fraud. You got to investigate everything, right? Then she'll also say here, no one apprehended a Hyundai plant was picking fruit, so stretch harder, meaning that in her point of view, she thinks there'll be enough local people to work in the plant, in the construction part. That's what her point of view is. But then you got to understand, put in context. She also writes, maybe Hyundai could hire the 1,000 people that were laid off at International Paper. See, this is the thing. Just think about this. So I'm not against people that were laid off at International Paper to work at the Hyundai plant. I'm not against that. But the plant's not finished, right? And so could the people that were laid off at International Paper, can you just easily slide them into working electrical jobs to finish the plant or work on the installing the technical machinery? Is that something that you can do? And if the managers, right, and the executive management are all from Korea and speak Korean, can they easily train these people, do it in a timely manner for this temporary job? Is that something practical? I'm just talking in terms of practical business here. And I just feel like these people like Tori have no clue or concept what they're even talking about whatsoever. And then they're spreading conspiracy theories about dead bodies at the Hyundai plant, which, hey, to be fair, if it is true, I completely apologize. And I'll literally talk about the story because I don't want there to be dead bodies at Hyundai plant. But when you first tell me this, coming from who it's coming from, it just seems so uncredible. So that's my take on it. And I'm always honest with you guys with this kind of stuff. Like I literally just dig into it and say, okay, what's a fair assessment of these things? This is Tori. She's also a person who's a fan. She likes that Pete Hegseth is now at the Secretary of War, because they changed the name from Department of Defense to now the Department of War, which is crazy in itself, but that's the kind of person she is. She thinks that's cool. And I'm trying to be polite. And then this was our headlines here. Actually, this is the Wall Street Journal. How the immigration raid at Hyundai's factory complex unfolded. And I want to just read a local description of it. It's interesting. It says, news of the raid reverberated through the Savannah area businesses that serve the region's fastest growing South Korean population, right? Because you're building a plant, more people are coming in to work in said plant. Min Nguyen, so this would be probably a local Vietnamese American, says, who manages a Korean barbecue, right? So they have a local restaurant. Read about the raid on Facebook and thought it was fake. It's just like, what? Why are you raiding the? Which makes sense. Like, I can see why you think it was fake, because when I heard about it too, I was like, are you guys crazy? As customers, employees trickled in throughout the day, he realized it was real. Nguyen was bracing for the impact it would have on the night's dinner rush. Like, these are his customers, right? Quote, this is really going to affect us, he said. Neither he nor his restaurant owners are South Korean, right? It happens a lot where many Korean establishments, like talking about the Korean restaurant, could be owned by someone of a different ethnicity. It certainly can be possible. Yet the restaurant still gets a large influx of diners from Hyundai. Many come in large groups, including one last weekend of more than 30. Tonight, we'll find out how bad it's going to get. Sorry, you're a little upset because, like these Tory Brandon people, they think they're these heroes. Oh, I'm the white savior and I'm saving people from getting abused or whatever. And then like your local businesses in the area, which I'm sure she doesn't care. She doesn't care about, Vietnamese Americans. I'm sure she doesn't care about restaurants if they're owned by Asian people, right? I'm making allegations. I'm just saying I don't know what she thinks, but you can kind of get a sense of it. It's not hard to figure out. But I'm just telling you, like, for local business people, there's like, where'd my customers go? Why are you arresting my customers? But so there's that. And then where are they sending these people? So I looked it up. I think they're going to here. This is Folkestone Ice Processing Center. And listen to the kind of place it might be.
Processing center different than detention center in name only. The processing center in Folkestone has a barbed wire fence outside the facility, and people can be held there for months or years.
They're gonna be brought together, and when they come together, some of it will be a detention center, some of it will be a processing center, some of it, will be just for them to get ready to transfer.
Now, this facility is going to double in size because the prison that's just down the road has been contracted to the federal government as an add-on.
They are retrofitting a federal prison into a detention center, and they don't really make that many changes. So people who are detained by ICE are experiencing prison conditions.
According to GEO, the corporation that owns the prison, the transfer went through to ICE on June 6th.
I've been to visit that facility before, and I will tell you, the company that runs it does a good job.
Though advocates say this could be unfortunate for those who will be detained there, with reports of
physical abuse, emotional abuse, and there was even one death of a detained person that ICE found was partly caused by medical neglect at the facility.
So it looks like someone died at the facility. I mean, yes, I know it's absurd. Sometimes it's funny, but then someone actually died at the facility, right? And, when you hear like the local, probably Republican, I don't know, but I think it was a Republican. I can look it up. We can see. What is it? It was he's a Republican, I guess, as our district representative, Buddy Carter. He's like, oh, well, they do a good job. And if you know anything about GEO, it's a private prison. And effectively, ICE comes in, arrests a bunch of people, and then private prisons make more money. That's what it ends up being. These are some statements coming in from the local government. It says South Korea negotiates release of Korean workers detained in the Georgia raid from the president in Korea. There are some administrative procedures left, but once they are cleared, we will send a charter plane to bring our people home. I agree. Bring your people home. I completely agree. We will not let our guard down. This is a different rep. We will not let our guard down until we have our people safely back home. We will also review and improve the visa system for those who go to the United States on business trips related to investment projects so that similar incidents won't be repeated. I guess they're going to continue with it, though. It says the raid brought construction to a halt at the Georgia factory. Mr. Kong confirmed on Sunday that South Korea was still committed to finishing the project. This is more description. You can just listen. Those arrested included dozens of LG workers who were on business trips with various visas or under a visa waiver program to provide technical guidance for building the battery factory, according to industry officials familiar with the project. Others detained South Korean workers who had been hired by construction contractors working for Hyundai and LG. And you know, I've been going through this stuff all day, and like I said, it's been all over our news. And I just mentioned before, sometimes you can't necessarily hire local workers for various reasons, right? And you know, I'm sure that more details will come out, but I just think this assumption that, you know, this Tory person's making that the Koreans aren't going to hire any local Americans, I think is absolutely nonsense. I mean, it just, you're not going to bring in a bunch. It's just not practical. Like, let's say at the plant, because the numbers they've been saying in our news is like 8,500 workers. You're not going to bring in 8,500 workers from Korea. It's just, you're not going to bring that many. And part of what she also, you know, tries to claim on her social media is that when people come to USA, they expect 5-star hotels, and they're going to go shop at Walmart. That's literally was her words. Oh, you know, like,
So if you think that ICE is just going in and ripping people out of their jobs, these hardworking people that want a better life, well, guess what? Politicians have really screwed these people, because when they came here, they thought they were, you know, hey, the border's open, we're coming in, we're going to get the 5-star treatment, and we can go to the big Walmart, and we can live in a 5-star hotel, and that's just not how it is.
As if people from Korea dream about shopping at Walmart in USA. It's hard to explain to people if you've never left the USA that there are other countries out there. And in fact, living conditions are actually pretty good at other places. I know it's hard for some people to imagine. I know I'm kind of being sarcastic here, but it's sad because there's actually people that don't realize that there are other places other than USA. It's probably better just to laugh at them than to get upset. I mean, because it's just... All right, so we are at the beach today, and Yeji had the idea to order pizza.
Two pizza.
Two pizzas, because last time the pizza was really, really good. So she saw me eat my pizza, so she wants some too. I encourage you, right, Tori, if you're watching this, I encourage you, watch this show, American Factory. Just watch it. It's a Netflix show, and it's about when a Chinese company comes in, I think it's Ohio, builds, you know, renovates a factory in there, and you know, they bring in Chinese management, and then how does the management work with the local American workers, and you'll see it for yourself, the differences. And then the some of the American management then goes to China and goes sees how you know, factories operate in China, and it's just stark differences. It's really, really obvious to anyone who watches this thing, and it's hard to explain unless you actually see it for yourself, because you just don't know. I mean, I'm not terming me, you just don't know. And you know, I'll just put it this way. Many Americans don't realize that some of the work quality in USA is not particularly good. I'll again say it nicely. You don't realize that you're so used to that kind of thing. Or you're used to sort of American work standards where maybe the workers are disrespectful, they show up late, they could be on any kind of substances. It's a real problem in USA, guys. A lot of workers in USA can, you know, there's a lot of substances, you know, that you're able to get in USA. I mean, I just laugh. It's just, you don't realize it, that in other places it's not there. So workers don't have a huge addiction problem. So it's very different. And workers, you know, in other countries, like it's just, I don't want to get too much in the differences. I'll just say, just watch the documentary, and I'm just trying to be applied this stuff. But it's sad though, when your town has an opportunity, your state has an opportunity to better itself by encouraging, you know, partnerships around the world. And when people come partner with you in your local community, you basically call the cops on them and claim conspiracy theories, right? And if I'm wrong, if you find the dead bodies at the Hyundai plant and I'm totally wrong, I will make a video about it, because I'm actually quite curious if it ends up being true. My first reaction is like, it sounds too conspiracy theory to me. And then when I see that you're supporter of MTG and that kind of stuff, you kind of get where that's going. So that's my thoughts on this stuff. I want to hear yours, and I'll catch you on the next video.